All right. It's what you've all been waiting for here tonight. We're going to talk about Los Angeles at the end of the show. I will also be talking to Ben about Los Angeles. If you've not been around the metaverse, if you've been under a rock for the last 2 years, if you've never heard of the mighty Australianer, has his own show here weekly or weekly-ish with Lily and other Australianers and New Zealanders, has started and done things that other players just haven't amassed such a kind of a resume of things that they've done, including coining terms that the game has adopted. And we're going to talk about those, and we're going to get down to the bottom and see what BEN68 is doing. But his helpers are here tonight. Banana, the human stimulation, is going to be doing some streaming. Hopefully he's in and around. Sounds like you're in a machine or a dryer right now.
Who, me, or?
Yeah, that may not be you, but I think it is. But at any rate, Banana Stim has been allowed to stream live. You'll watch that stream. He's going to spin the wheel for some things. He's going to be doing some wheel spinning. So if you go up to the top of the channel and you see the live there, you can watch that stream live, and you'll see that he is going to be adding to the wheel. And Banana, before we get into it with Ben and start down the path, what do people need to know that you are providing for the wheel spin tonight?
So I need y'all, if you're in this, if you're in the Upland Cafe, please, I just posted a form, Google form. It's safe, don't worry. It's 33 questions. All I gotta know is your username. I need to know your wax address, and I need to know your Upland username. This makes life 10 times easier because when we do the prize wheel, I'm not gonna go tracking y'all down if your information ain't correct. You better get that correct, please. I'm begging you, because I don't want to have to spend all night trying to find who you are. And I don't think Ben wants to do that either. We just want this quick, simple, and easy. We have all the information that applies to all the prizes. That way, if you win whatever, I just send Ben all the information and he can find you. You need to send it to your wax. He can send it to your wax address. He can send you an offer on a property, or he can DM you about a trade. He'll make it work. But this gives him all the information he will need to get that done.
Yeah, very cool prizes. If you guys haven't seen it, I'm sure during the broadcast tonight, you'll be able to get all of the drop ads. I know More Cheese is helping out this evening. If you haven't had the opportunity to go over to the Wine and Cheese show, oh my gosh, it's so awesome. We're going to be following up with them and talking about this. I'm sure More Cheese will be on maybe this evening. Maybe she'll chime in with us. So Agnostis1 wax address, I dropped it, wax.atomichub.io. You get over there, you get registered. Let's stop messing around. It is 9:19 in the Central PM CST. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, our guest this evening, again, like I said, is from Australia. It is 2 years in the metaverse, celebrating his 2 years here. BEN68, are you with us, brother? Are you there? Ben, Chaffee to Ben, are you here?
Hello, sir. Yeah, I just ran in. The bloody cockatoos were trying to steal the shrimps off me, Barbie.
Yeah. Ben has an amazing wildlife preserve in his backyard, as I understand it. I'm absolutely just fascinated by the birds, and he calls them bush turkeys, I think. Is that what you call it?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of different types, mate.
So Ben, I mean, I've done the Wine and Cheese show. We've had a really good rapport since day one, back and forth, fun. As you were in San Francisco, I was trying to buy things off of you before collection reveals, and then continuing on through you're treading through this game and really doing some very cool first ever things in the game. Do you have a specific point you want to start at as to what you're doing tonight? You want to explain what you're doing here?
I mean, I guess you and I have talked at length, whether it was on the KCBC show or, different, whether it was the Wine and Cheese or, even when I was in the cafe, what was that, a month or two ago, and we dug into the past a lot. I feel like we've kind of been through all of that. Maybe just have a think and a chat about, what we're working on now, what's to come in the future. But yeah, if anything comes up, happy to, what I'm like, I'm happy to dive into whatever.
Yeah, and I think if anybody has any questions, what you can do is drop them in the Upland Cafe chat, compendium channel to this one. Drop a question, have a comment, go ahead in there. We'll try to do it the best we can. But yes, the things that are most notable in coming, looking at the past and coming forward is really your march from the application of Meta Ventures, and you are what otherwise would have been known as beta business into Meta Ventures and Decor. Is there anything that you want to start with that? You have been approved for that and are still waiting a year later to see where you're going to be amongst the pack, yeah?
Yeah, well, that was kind of the seed that kicked off everything else that has followed. I mean, I started in the game and, I poked around and did this and that and the other thing, and I bought properties here and sold them there and did what everybody does. Didn't really get serious about the game until that first announcement about businesses came out. When was that? That was almost fully a year ago when we submitted the first pre-application thing. So yeah, I mean, I had seen other neighbourhoods get sold out. Like we know Alamo Square was a big one. There was already a push in the community. People were buying out entire neighbourhoods in San Francisco and declaring themselves the mayor and all this sort of stuff. And I thought, that's kind of fun. But it really was that idea of running a business that really kicked off everything.
Yeah, and I think that when we had first seen those applications, there was a pretty tall order for that. And I think that had some people shying away from it. The Block Explorer stores was going to require you to have 1 million UPIX in holdings. And then for Decor, you always have the facts on this. Was it really 5 million UPIX to have in your wallet?
No, there's a lot of misconceptions about that. The assumption was that Block Explorers were going to have to pay the 1 million upfront, or not upfront, sorry. Once you were approved for either the Block Explorers or the Outdoor Decor, you were going to have to pony up. It was 1 million for Block Explorer shops, and it was 1 million as a deposit for Outdoor Decor. That was to secure your spot in the Better Business thing. It's kind of to weed out people, I guess. But there was never any upfront payments made. You've got players like Crypto Jedi who applied at the time when he was a pro player, and I think his total net worth at the time might have been like 300,000 or something. But there was an expectation that those funds would be paid at some later stage. And as it was explained to me at the time by Block Unchained, who was the community manager, the 5 million balance was the whole first year of budget, basically. And I asked, and he said, that includes buying all the properties you're going to need for Outdoor Decor, because as we found out, a Block Explorer shop only needs one building. Biggest building you can get, the more inventory you can have. But for Outdoor Decor, the NFTs were going to have to be minted onto physical properties. So obviously there's a fairly high cost associated with that. So that was part of that original 5 million budget. Now, when I got that information, I had a look around, because we only had San Francisco at the time, I believe, or Fresno might have been around. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But I had a look around the map. I knew what my business was as soon as it was announced. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, which was outdoor decor with a kind of Japanese aquatic theme. So I went searching around the map. I was trying to find an address, something to do with water or, marine or something like that. And I found Aqua Vista Way in Midtown Terrace. And there happened to be one big massive property there that unfortunately had already been minted, but it was a pretty reasonable price, and there was just swathes of unminted in that area. So I grabbed that big one. I think it was 220K, and I got a nice little surprise. The player that originally purchased that hadn't collected their fees for ages, and I got 9K straight back from it. So
wow,
that was cool. And then, after that, as more information came online about how we were going to need physical property, I just started buying up Midtown Terrace like a maniac.
And that's one of the big things one of the most revealing things that we had seen early on. You started making this push for Midtown Terrace, and you really started minting it out. I mean, did you start very slowly, or did you just go all in and started to mint? And how much did you get minted before you started openly talking about MTU?
Well, initially I bought as much as I could in Aqua Vista Way. So I pretty much cleaned up every property that was along that area, and I thought, that'll do. But as I'm sure everybody knows in this game, as soon as you hit some kind of threshold and you think, I'll be content now, something else grabs your eye and off you go again. So I think I might have minted one other property that was in the block next door. And of course, you save up a bit of UPEX, or you have a sale come through, so you buy another one, and then you get to the point, well, hell, there's only 7 left in the block, I might as well finish it off. And then one block turns into 2 blocks, and then it's 3, and then it's 4, and then you finished off a whole area. So I was lucky very early on that, and new players to the game probably can't even comprehend how much of a ghost town it was back in those days. Like, pretty much had everybody had free reign to buy wherever they wanted. So yeah, it was a very slow process in the beginning, but then it kind of snowballed as we got more information, and then it got to the point where I really wanted to get it wrapped up and secured.
And in doing so, when you started doing that, when was the first time you started to mention something that it otherwise now everybody knows this term, the common area term, the game has adopted it, the word is node. Where did you come up with it, and how did you kind of insert it into the language that everybody knows now of Upland?
Well, there's a lot more history before we even get to that point. I mean, it's Midtown Terrace. It started off as the evil empire. That was always a bit of a joke that we're throwing around because, I've got the samurai livery and that sort of stuff. So we played around for that for a while, and it was DJ Shorts and T Davis at the time that said, this evil empire thing probably not going to have much mass market appeal. So that's when I came up with the term Midtown Terrace as a kind of a thing. And it wasn't until our infamous friend in Venom came onto the scene, and he exploded and started buying up neighbourhoods left, right and centre. And he'd seen what I had done in Midtown Terrace, and he kind of emulated that, buying up other neighbourhoods. And we got to talking one night. He'd shown me some screenshots of Balboa Terrace, and we started talking about, well, I'm building this Midtown Terrace brand, but obviously that's tied only to San Francisco. And I came up with Upland Development United as an umbrella brand that would allow us to bring on any sort of neighbourhood that we decided to mint out in the future. Through some kind of concept sketches of that, if you look for node history, you'll find the post I made. I was playing around with doodles, and I kind of drew, it looks like your classic, it looks like a node map, basically, if you talk about, I don't know, diseases or something like that, where it has a central point, which would be the UDU, and from that, it branches off, North America, Oceania, and then that branches off into Midtown Terrace, Lone Mountain, and that sort of thing. So that's where the term node came from.
Interesting. And of course, it's been adopted now. Everybody knows that term. People use it all the time. When people go to a new city, just like when people go into Los Angeles, there will be talk of a new node. And otherwise, that is the minting of a neighborhood, a street, something that people can otherwise have a majority hold in and have a say and do some type of specific building on it or have some kind of plan. What, sir, is your plan for the MTU, knowing that you had started something called UDU?
Hey, can I just interject real quick? I just need to say this. I'm giving you all one warning. Please stop filling out the form multiple times. I'm not gonna do that. Don't do that. I'm gonna wipe everyone who has a double, but if you keep doing it, you won't. I will just not let you get the prize if I see that you have multiple starting now. So please don't do that.
And if somebody's making it by mistake, we understand. So,
but some of these players I recognize as they've done them before. So,
all right. Watch out, the banana. The banana's got the hide iron out, boy. Don't cross the banana.
All right, carry on. Sorry, just had to make an announcement.
Thanks, Mike.
So, Ben, your movement into minting out these areas, you turning it into a node, Midtown Terrace United, and then UDU comes into play.
Yeah, well, that all kicked off with the information that we got about spawning neighbourhood collections. Now, that's all very vague. We do know that nothing's set in stone, but my kind of mindset and the players that I was surrounding myself with, the team that we're building, we were all about, well, let's just do what we can with the information we have at hand. We kind of felt like we don't want to sit back and wait to get the finalised information and then have to start from scratch. We'd rather be up and, at a good steady jog. And if, some extra points come in, well, it's just a case of pivoting to the left or to the right or whatever, So that's kind of where we're at today. We've got no guarantees that Midtown Terrace or any other neighbourhood or area is going to be turned into a collection. Even if it does, we got no idea what the mechanics behind it are going to be. We're just basically doing what we can with the information we have at hand. That's pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, and it's been ongoing. People are just building. People ask all the time, why are you guys building? It's because we presume, we have the speculation that it's going to be a huge part of whatever this potential neighborhood scores are going to be. And so people continue to build. You can put ornaments on these actual structures that you have. But then kind of fast forwarding a little bit into what you've been doing, how in the background have you been working with MetaVentures, or if there's something else you want to segue into before we get to that? I mean, it really is something that you spent some money on in development, had people ready to go, because the time frame was 30 to 45 days. So you were prepped and ready to roll?
I don't know that there was ever a time frame given, but there was definitely an assumption. Well, we certainly didn't expect we'd be here a year later and still crickets. My whole journey, as far as my focus and that sort of stuff, all started with Better Business. At this point in time, I've got so much other stuff on the go besides that, Better Business is kind of a quirky thing in the background. If it comes to fruition, that's all well and good. If it all fizzles and falls apart, well, it is what it is. Especially, going back to what you said, I didn't spend any money whatsoever. I know some other players spent a fortune, aside from buying up all the land and that sort of stuff to establish myself. As far as working on branding and all that sort of stuff, I worked with T. Davis very early on. He did some branding stuff for Samurai Aquatics, and we were gearing up to work together because he's a pretty cool artist and he has a bunch of artist people he knows. We were just waiting for some design specifications for the team. That waiting, it ended up being 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, and now we're here at a year. We still don't have a single specification on any of the requirements that we're going to need. Now, obviously, with these Christmas ornaments thing, that was a good sign in the right direction. So when that came through, one of the well-known cafe members, JJ, I reached out to him because I'd seen some of his work and I got him to commission up a kind of example of a pool and that sort of thing. And I worked with Slav from the UDU. He did something similar. But yeah, it's just a wait and see. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, whatever, I'll just keep doing all the other stuff we got going on.
And that is exactly what you've been doing. I know in all of this that one of your goal on your basically that you had said a goal board or a milestone was to become a chief executive. And it seems to be that you did hit that. And if you want to talk about that now, or if you want to go into something else, but congratulations on that. I know it was a goal for you.
Yeah, that was one of the goals I set for myself for the end of 2021. So, yeah, I've been a grinder and a flipper, ever since I started in this game. Like, I was super well known back in the old days where you could buy FSAs off agents, unrestricted. Like, I sat there with Crypto Jedi one afternoon, and I think we flipped well over 100 Fresno properties where he was minting them and I was buying him for a small markup, like just one after the other. I was very well known for having my under mint fire sales in outer Richmond and inner Richmond and up in that area. Had a lot of fun with a couple of players battling to drop the floor there. Like we'd be fighting each other to see who could get the lowest floor price to get the most sales, and then I'd suddenly stop selling and then buy all his up. So, had a lot of fun in that sort of stuff. But yeah, the chief executive, yeah, that was just a case of grinding away. And then I got really close near the end there. And like I said before, it's one of those things where you think, oh, I'm content now. I'm not gonna put any more money in. But then I was so close and they had the spark up rewards and I was just like, now or never. So I did end up putting a little bit more crypto in just to bump me over the edge.
Yeah, and you made it there. And, we used to have a leaderboard that we could see all the net worths, and we would kind of huddle around that leaderboard. And at that time, prior to any, of what otherwise would be the invent and buy, there was a real, kind of a slow race, right, to actually get to that. And what that turned out to be was a leaderboard that was still in the 70 million UPIX range, and the top 20 was 20 million UPIX. So that's far now been passed. Do you know where you
yeah.
are in the leaderboard, or what do you see to that? Is that even something that you worry about or care about?
It was kind of a curiosity back in the day, but it was never kept up to date. So the only thing that was kind of fun was Too Stupid and TML used to update that sort of stuff weekly on the UpX podcast. So that was always fun to see who'd moved where. But yeah, no, not really. I mean, I have my own goals that I set, which we've got a goals and dreams and hopes or something. I forget what we called it in the UDU server. And I've already set those for this year. I always like to set pretty lofty goals. So we'll see how we go.
Yeah, and I really like that. So as you start to progress and having 2 years in the game and kind of seeing a little bit of everything, and I know we're going to get up to where your wine and cheese and some of the new media projects that you're working on, but up to the point where you had become a chief executive, what are the things that you saw along in the game that were just complete and utter eyebrow raises, or just a shock to the system, or otherwise a revelation? You were like, finally, that's what we needed. Are there certain things, milestones that you can remember in your time being in here that would help other players kind of get a perspective on what 2 years is like in the game?
Oh gosh. I do have a show called Wine and Cheese, and that all started off because I whine so much. Nothing surprises me anymore. Like, we had that thing with the intern fat fingered the 0.01 to 0.1, or the other way around, spark thing. I said that as soon as that was posted, you're going to get 0.1 spark for the tour. First thing I said in the UDU server was, you watch, I bet you that's an intern fat finger. Next minute it was. And at this point, you just got to laugh. I've been through every single burn you could imagine, all the highs, all the lows, and I do whine a lot, and it's because I care about the community. I care about my balance, or whatever you want to call the time I've put in, my investment in the thing. So I think we all want to see a lot of things being done much better. But I do also realize that we're talking about something that's a lot of things that have never been done before. And I know for myself personally, I often have to take a step back and reflect on that as well, and cut the team a bit of slack. And it probably doesn't come across that way. But yeah, lots of highs, lots of lows. To pick a few out, oh gosh, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah, I think one of the ones for me is, which now looking back on it is as these are added on a daily basis, is the cult of Ben. It was early on kind of a joke, but some people kind of took it very seriously in the monopolization of the game, thinking BEN68 and you are just going to completely monopolize this game. All the players are going to go in, and there's never going to be any room for anybody else. So kind of give me an idea as to when people started talking about the cult of Ben.
Yeah, it was more the cult of voodoo, which at the time I was very defensive of, because I'm in it, so I knew it wasn't true. But we've gone through recently and reflected on all of those early UDU meetings. I mean, if you go and watch them now, they're hilarious. You'll laugh your butt off. You could fully see it was all about. We had members on board who were all about numbers and the optics of pushing numbers, and we're going to get this other team on board, and they're going to come under the UDU. And I'm not saying I wasn't on board with it. I was fully on board with it. I drank the Kool-Aid, mate. I was a cult member just like anybody else. As those sorts of things go, that never plays out long term. And that famously all fell apart. We had some big monumental blow ups, and through the history of the UDU, we've just constantly been moving away from that and just really knuckling down to stop talking and just do the work,
Yeah, and I think that that's really what it took in the end. I mean, every mistake that you could possibly make in a group, an organization, in Discord, you basically have either seen those or you have learned from them, and then you have added some things that worked. And one of the things that I think, and another thing that you've coined the term of, is Spark Train. And that's something that as Spark started to come in, as Spud kind of faded and we got Spark, tell us a little bit about what that meant and how you came up with that, and who currently runs and how you guys do that today.
Yeah, well, that's Cheese is all over the Spark Train, and she's been monumental in, first of all, holding the UDU together at a couple of crucial points where it very, very easily could have just all crashed and burned in a big pile. So yeah, the Spark Train kind of started off as a way to build as fast as we could in different areas. It has evolved a lot since it started. It's now evolved pretty much into a way that the UDU team can help UDU members that aren't in a position where they can build many properties themselves. So, if you're a UDU member and you've only got one Spark or something, there is still an avenue for you to be able to build up your node properties and build them out. If you do the maths on the Spark Train, well, it doesn't make sense. Like, I've got 15 and a half Spark. I would be far better off building node properties by myself. I'd build way more, but we're a team. We look after each other. So I've got no problems whatsoever using 80% of my Spark every time a train runs, and that helps out some of our, less established members.
Yeah, and I think it's incredibly gratifying to have that when you go in and you know that you've got players that are within your development organization and you're building with your community long term. And really what that has turned into now is really all those who are the outliers or that really didn't want to be there for the right reasons have kind of gone. And now you solidified a very tight-knit group. I don't see the UDU posting time and time again to pump their numbers up or to add more members. What is the process of becoming a UDU member? What do you have to do there? And what does it mean to you to not just add the numbers? Is it for that really core group of people that have a real vision for this game?
Yeah, people would probably be shocked to know how small the actual UDU team is, but the whole thing that we've been pushing and striving towards goes back to the old Spartan kind of thing, where I'd rather have, a good solid 20, 30 people beside me that I know have the same core values. We have the same ideologies or whatever. We have the same interests. We get along well and that sort of thing, rather than 350 people and it's just non-stop drama and blow-ups. We've been there. We've done that. It's not worth it. You can't create a community with money, but if you have a community, we've found that the monetary aspects come through, We don't spend our time dealing with drama and crap like that anymore. As far as getting into the UDU, we don't advertise anywhere. We don't recruit. If you're around the place, you're going to see us. If you're interested, you're going to reach out. We have a very kind of in-depth vetting procedure. It's not a case of you say, hey, can I join the UDU? And next minute you're in. That's not the case at all. We do a very deep dive into your community history, your blockchain history, and that sort of stuff. It might seem over the top, but, mate, the drama that we've been through, it is so much more beneficial to take the extra time at the front end of things and to get to know people and that sort of stuff than dealing with the drama on the back end.
Yeah, and you still hold the meetings. I am a proud member of the UDU, still in the meetings, still doing that, continuing.
You missed the one today.
I do. You know what? That's every single time a Tuesday comes along, I miss it. You know me. It's like the MO. I either have the bells on or I miss it. I completely forgot about it. I like that I just got called out on it. Red face for me. Moving along.
And that's the kind of thing that separates us from a lot of established and developing node groups as well. All of our team meetings are posted online. It's fully transparent, and it's all there. If you have any interest, you can check it out. Now, we said from the get-go that we were going to put our stuff out there, and we realised that it's a very niche market. But we talk about Upland in generalised terms. It's always what's happening, in and around the game and that sort of stuff. It's not all. We're not sitting there in the corner chanting Udu and sacrificing goats and whatnot.
Yes, but there are red robes. Can you confirm that there are red robes?
No comment. Cheese will kill me.
So you've established the community that you're in. You've been playing the game as you go along. You start the Wine and Cheese show. How do you choose who you're talking to, and what made you want to do a otherwise kind of a Upland variety show where you bring on and interview other players or other members from other metaverses? How and did you and Cheese who came up with that idea, and was More Cheese the one trumpeting in it, or how did that work?
I caught myself whining to Cheese in DMs, and I remember I'm looking at Cheese's, I'm sending her a DM so I can see, it's Cheese. And then I'm thinking to myself, holy crap, I whine a lot. And then a penny dropped, Wine and Cheese. Holy hell, that'd be a good name for a show. And I approached her with the idea and she loved it straight away, and off we went. I can't take any credit whatsoever for, securing the guests and that sort of stuff. That's all on Cheese. The amount of work she does on the front end, the middle, the back end, I'm just the knucklehead that goes along for the ride, mate.
There's something I do love about the chemistry and just the camaraderie that you two have is watching on early on. And again, I say this in the most respectful and loving manner to More Cheese, is that how quiet and reserved that she was. And I at some times when you would call on More Cheese to say something and help her kind of to come out of her shell, and her famous red face that she would have when speaking, she's really come a long way. And I think that the Wine and Cheese, it just blows my mind from when I first saw, kind of More Cheese and being a little bit less vocal to where she is today, and how awesome that is.
Yeah, well, that started back in the early UDU meetings. Yep. She cracks me up. Holy hell, like some of the clangers she dropped in the team meeting today was just hilarious. So, yeah, no. It's not all a bed of roses. Like her and I, we go at it sometimes. I guess we're like, in many ways, we're like a brother-sister relationship sort of thing where, we can have hell barneys and we might not talk to each other for a while or something, but there's always massive underlying respect and that sort of thing where, we can get over these things.
Yeah, it's very cool. If you guys haven't seen it. And the Wine and Cheese show, More Cheese is dropping episodes. Really cool episodes, always good. I like the back and forth. I'll have to watch the UDU meeting I should have been a part of today to find all of those clangers that were dropped. Moving along, you have another show you want to tell us about? What the project is you have coming up that we've been seeing all these teasers?
Yeah, well, that's kind of kicked off as well. There has been talk on and off about setting up a server for the Wine and Cheese show, and I pushed back against that. I was like, holy hell, not another server. I'm already in 150 or something. So, but yeah, we had the Wine and Cheese show. We know we've got the UDU meetings. We're doing the Oz and New Zealand Cafe Hour. We did come up, we're getting ready to do another variety show called the Upland Mash, and that's going to be fully open to the public. It's going to be pretty chaotic or whatever. So we got all these shows, and I was thinking, well, I'm not going to go and start 10 new servers. It's just going to be a nightmare, because what if somebody else in the team comes up with a show that they want to do? Or, we've got UDU members like Musito, who has his Brazilian YouTube channel and that sort of stuff. So that's when I went back to the old UDU days, where how that formed, where the UDU was established as an umbrella brand that could give us unlimited expansion potential for the node concept. So I thought, we need an umbrella brand for all of these kind of metaverse NFT shows and things that we're doing. Like, we have a lot of friends in the NFT space, the Nasty Hooks, Lil Creations, Frazzle, the online in. There's a whole bunch of people we have really good association with. Is there a way that we can, put all of this together? So that's where I came up with the concept for MVE, Metaverse Ventures Entertainment. So that's pretty much what it is. It's an umbrella brand for all of the projects that we have going now that will come out in the future, as well as our friends and that sort of stuff.
Interesting. I can't wait. Is there a dropped, date for when that's going to happen?
We're live now. We went live this morning. The first 50 people in the server are going to get a special NFT. We've already got the websites up and running. I did go ahead and I've rebranded all of the UDU YouTube channel, the Spotify account. It's all rebranded to MVE now. So whereas before we had the YouTube channel, for example, was Upland Development United, and we had the UDU team meetings in there, and the Wine and Cheese and the Upland Mash. Well, that's all been switched over to MVE branding, and then anything that we do can then fall easily under that brand.
Very, very cool. I love it. And I just saw More Cheese drop an NFT that has like the It's like the Egyptian llama. Is that what that is? That's incredible.
Yes, that's we've been working on the. I asked her for that ages ago. I wanted I forget what I said. I wanted something that was a cross between Iron Maiden, Power Slave, and Miles the llama.
That is it right there. I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Maiden, so I'm all on board with that. Very, very cool.
Yes. So the MVE, just to put a pin on that part, the MVE server, it's not designed as somewhere where you're going to have to go and spend hours of your day interacting or whatever. It's basically set up like a library almost, and we kind of come up with this new term. Well, instead of Netflix and chill, well, you might be able to do MVE and chill. So if you've got some spare time and you want to watch some sort of show or something related to the metaverse or NFTs, if you head on over there, you're going to find a link, something that you can watch. There's a whole bunch of links to all different sorts of shows all in one spot.
Okay, very cool. So I see that. I see the server was dropped over there. This is I like the evolution. Always, always, always. There's never a stagnant moment over there for the UDU and what you're doing, Ben, and how you're moving this forward. And you always bring something that's incredibly innovative and has some spice to it. And I absolutely love the kind of that the entertainment word is in there and what you're doing. The production, the whole thing is very, very cool. And if you have just now joined us, if you're here in the Upland Cafe and you're here, it's 9:52 in the PM in the CST. We're talking with 2 years into the game veteran BEN68, who is a player here, MetaVentures business here in Upland, one of 20, one of 10 that is Decor, that will hopefully be launching sometime this year, talking about his history in the game, all of the different milestones that he's had throughout, giving us some kind of otherwise a look back and a look forward at what they're doing. And that kind of brings us to where we are current day. And knowing that there's a new city, Ben, and that you have properties in most all of the cities in Upland, I did see when we were in Chicago, you had said, I'm not going to go ham in Chicago, but I think you say that for every city, and then you do go ham. So what is your outlook for the next city? Are you excited for Los Angeles?
I have got that out of my system. I can say that confidently. The last, I don't know, pretty much every city release since Chicago, I have dabbled. I haven't gone on mad fire sales to get liquid to go and buy a whole bunch of stuff that I have no plans for or anything like that. The only kind of thing I went deep on was in Nashville when there was a whole bunch of collection properties just sitting there, like high-value collection properties. I kind of went a bit ham there. But as far as that, I've pulled right back from that. I've staked my claims in San Francisco and Manhattan and Oakland and a few of these other places, and especially Chicago. 4,500 properties in Chicago is a very long-term play. Los Angeles, I mean, I think I got like 1 million liquid at the moment, and I think I'll be probably lucky to spend half of that. I mean, I personally got no association with that city or whatever. I do realize it's going to be huge. Obviously, it would be a tier 1. So, I think I got it out of my system, and unless the UDU is going to run for a node, I'll just be taking it chill.
Interesting. As big as the city as that is, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe it, but I will see that. We'll see that come to pass. But I will say that as you continue on and refine your gameplay and doing what you're doing, it is interesting to see the kind of the sea change from all the players that we used to see so active. I don't really see that many of the legacy players as active as you are. What do you think about that? Do you think that there's something that will bring them back? Is it MetaVentures? What else is going to bring them back? Or is it just going to be them sitting on these properties for long term and then picking a day to cash out?
Oh, it's a bit of everything. I do know from the people that, I've established relationships with over the 2 years, there's a lot of people that are just jack of getting strung along with, promises and, things in the roadmap that don't pan out or delays. And I kind of spoke to that before where I said for myself personally, I got to cut the team a little bit of slack. There's a lot of people that just really struggle with that. And yeah, they've either already cashed out, are in the process of cashing out, or they're just, walking away and doing other things. Because, this whole NFT metaverse situation 2 years ago, it wasn't really a thing. It was there, of course, but it wasn't like it is today. Like, I'd never even heard of NFTs when I started this thing. The Upland game had no association with NFTs or whatever. It's all kind of merged into that. And we've seen that some players that were back in the early days, well, they've picked that ball up and run with it, and they've gone on to do other projects. So, T. Davis would be a good example, Mars Utah, Left House, Recuria. You could name, probably 50 people that are like that, where they're still in the space, but, yeah, they're kind of focusing on other things.
Yeah, and I could see that. And, it's interesting to see that you've kept the content within inside of Upland. And is that the only metaverse that you're playing in, or have you spread out to other metaverses? Are you in the sandbox? Are you doing other things, or is this where you're staking your claim and this is where you're staying?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've got a full-time job. I've got a wife, 3 kids. I have very limited spare time. And, some people see my name here, there, and everywhere, and see my account balance or whatever, and they think I must be some crazy rich dude. I'm just a knucklehead kindergarten teacher. I don't have buckets of money in the backyard I can just pull out and, throw at the game whenever I want. I've got what I've got in, and I'm doing the best with what I have. There was one project that I kind of took, like external to Upland, that I took a bit of a risk on. And as you well know, that project crashed and burned and destroyed a whole bunch of people. So I guess I'm once bitten, twice shy sort of thing. There's definitely a lot of cool projects that I would love to be involved in, but I just personally, I don't have the financial means, and I certainly don't have the time.
Yeah, I think that's something to be really emphasized upon. Is most people, when they get into the game, they see it maybe as a free to play game, or that there's just not enough properties available at those entry level prices. And we've seen the starting prices from Fresno at 500 UPIX. There were actually properties for 50 cents USD. Those have kind of vanished, and we're starting to see that kind of that floor and the entry level pricing move up and up and up. Do you think that we're going to see some point that it's 10,000 UPIX for the floor and there's no sub 10K, or do you think they'll still keep sub 10K properties offered for FSA?
Yeah, I don't know. I've been saying since probably the second month that I was in the game, this should not be a free to play game, because it's not free to play. It's it's a pay to win game. I always said back in the early days, it should be a $5 game, and that gets you your extra UPIX, and that kind of sets the precedent. It's not, and it is what it is, and I understand the reasons behind that as far as visibility and that sort of stuff. As far as pricing, yeah, I'm not sure. I kind of really struggle with the financial part of it. Like, my wife's been a prime example. Like, I'll show my wife my account and say, look, have a look at my Upland account. It's like worth $117,000 US. And she's like, yeah, well, show me the money. I'm like, no, but you see, I'm reinvesting, and it's just play money. It doesn't mean anything at this point.
At this point. However, you have made some interesting sales that you made in New York. You have definitely seen that come back to you. Have you? And I'm going to ask you just a few more questions. The wheel is officially closed. So just so that everybody knows, I've officially closed the wheels, and that is now going to be Banana cleaning up all those secondary entries. Banana is streaming live, and then I'm going to let Ben kind of take over the giveaway part of this, and however you want to do that. But a few more questions for you, and then I'm going to ask if there's anything that we haven't really talked about or missed out on. We'll have some more time to talk, but I definitely, for the part that you've been doing, this is a full week, so I know this is going to be a long kind of process for you and getting everything rolled out, which is very cool. How many properties do you have in ownership in Upland? I know we can look it up, but it's always good to hear it from the player.
I think a bit over 6,000, which is kind of funny because I clearly remember way back in the day I sold a whole bunch of properties in a bulk deal to TML because I wanted to get down to 68 properties. And I thought, I've got me 68 properties. They're really nice collection properties in San Francisco. Now I'm content.
You're satisfied at 68, but
yes.
No longer. You're now. So now it's you keep moving it up to 6,800, and then will it be 68,000 at some point? Is that what we're talking about?
Oh, it's shocking, mate. And I clearly remember, like, as far as dividends going, thinking the exact same thing. I'm at 10,000 UPEX a month. That's a great, nice round number. Yeah, it never ends. It never ends.
Yeah. It doesn't. And yeah, D's Rex. Okay, this last call. This is it. Last call. 2-minute warning for the wheel. I'm going to put it in there one more time. Don't double entry on this. This is it. If you've just come into the show, you are in the Upland Cafe. This is a voice channel. It's the Uplando show. I'm talking with Ben68, player 2 years in the game. He is talking with us about his 2 years in the game. Just kind of going over everything that he's seen and gone through. Programs, projects that he's run, organizations that he's running and is a part of. The latest things. What haven't we covered that you wanted to talk about that you had on your list that I haven't served up for you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'd just like to say something about we see a lot of people in the community go all in on chasing dividends, or they're all in on chasing, what do you call it? Capital gains and that sort of stuff. I've always been somebody that's tried to do a little bit of everything. I think the more that you can diversify yourself, the better. Like when the team came through and said, "Oh, we're dropping the dividend rate from 17% to whatever it is, 14%," some people are up in arms. Oh, that's it. I'm quitting the game. Blah blah blah. Whereas if you've already built that sort of flexibility into your mindset, you go, "Oh, okay." So yeah, other than that, I think we've touched on a lot.
So, and again, just because I'm reading through questions and looking at it, there is a question because you brought it up a little bit about a project that you were involved in. Do you have any comment for the Dizzy and Envenom deal that went through? Do you want to make a comment, or do you have anything you want to say, or nothing at all?
Well, it's funny you say. I was nearly late to this because Dizzy and I were just having a chat in the Upland debate channel. So if you want to see my take on things, it's clear there for everybody to see. Everybody that knows me knows that I am probably annoyingly transparent. So, it's all there. If you want to check out my take on things, have a read through that. It's all there. Interesting.
And that's in the debate channel here in the Upland Discord server?
And that was literally still ongoing while you were doing the intro to this show, yes.
Interesting. So there's your answer if you want to get over there back and forth. If you were here for the show last night. Again, we touched on it.
Can I just say that I don't care whose names are associated with those accounts. Anybody who knows me knows that one of those names, there is significant history and bad blood there between me and that sort of person. But that's irrelevant to the whole thing. I don't care whose names are on the account. It's the precedent that's been set as far as what the rule books are for how everybody can play. I don't care whose name's on the account.
And admittedly so, from your time in the game, things that you had learned, things that you had otherwise done, and somebody poking you on the shoulder and going, hey, you can't do that. So we've all been through it, right? We know these things have come to pass, and there has been questions and answers for this. It's just actually carrying it forward with legacy and them knowing, or some people knowing, or however it comes to pass. There was an update on the TOS, so hopefully things like the cap on the bonus that you get, the 50% referral bonus, and now the outside of the game OTC, eventually the team gets to it. If that's the way you see it, or if not.
Well, not really. I mean, I used to buy out accounts, OTC. I used to buy UpX at a significant discount, OTC, because the team had always said, it's a grey area, we don't condone it. They never said you couldn't do it, so they were the rules that were established. That's the game that we played. the team then later clarified their position and said, no, UpX buying and selling OTC is off the cards. You can't sell properties under mint. It has to be fair market value. So that was the end of that, and that's the rule book that I played with. Well, now apparently there's a new rule book in play, so I'm seeking transparency and clarity on what the new rules are so that I can play the game according to those rules.
Yeah, agreed, as am I, and I appreciate your comments on it. I appreciate everybody in the cafe being patient with us and going through this process. So it is one of those things that can definitely affect gameplay and everybody Uplanders at all. So you do have some giveaways. Tell us what are the giveaways? I know Morchi's been dropping those in there and taking a look at those. And how would you like to proceed? The wheel is closed, so Banana has everybody that's going to be on the wheel is on the wheel. How would you like to conduct this, sir?
Well, Banana's the man. Thank you, Banana, again for jumping in and taking that over for me. What do we got up first? We got one Manhattan property, and we know that the resale value on that's probably about $200K. Although I suspect with Los Angeles that the floor might have dropped there a bit. So we've got that. We've got 100,000 UpX straight, and then we've got a San Francisco property. So you're probably looking at about 50K worth there. And then I've got 2 NFT bundles. So I'm happy for
tour of the new buildings that we were going to be auctioning off and giving away. Do we want to do like a little site view? Could I just open Upland if we want to do that? To show people what they're getting.
I just scrolled through the map and thought, oh yeah, that'll do. There was no real thought process.
Look at these; they're really cute. I like the Manhattan one. It's in Turtle Bay, and I'm like, oh, he giving out one of those small places. Oh, that's nice.
All right, so these
I should pick something else. I'm giving away me gold.
Yeah, exactly. Before you know, I've done that. I've done it. So definitely have done the giving away. If you're looking at the live stream right now, Banana is live streaming away. You can click at the top of the screen. You can click on watch stream. Banana is over there right now looking at the property. What is that? 842 2nd Avenue in Manhattan, New York. It's a Manhattan property. What is the floor on Manhattan right now?
200K, I think.
200K, and Turtle Bay's higher, right? Isn't it higher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful bar.
Oh, look at this man.
That could be Banana. That could be Ben. It's a beautiful bar. This is an amazing grab, Ben. Incredible prize.
It's actually really cute. Damn.
No, that's like a steakhouse. That's a famous.
You know what this is? This is the Palm. Yeah. This is the Palm.
The Palm.
It's the Palm. And if you guys don't know what the Palm is, it is a chain restaurant. It's a higher end restaurant that as you go and you are at the restaurant, you have different levels of people, but you actually get to go in and they will, for a certain, I don't know, it's amount of money or what you do, you get to have a caricature put up yourself on the wall. I've been to the Palm. It's a great place. It was, where are you going now, Banana?
I was trying to find it on Google, but it's not being nice. We're not going to do that.
That's
Google's
okay.
being annoying. All right, so let's look at the other one that we have. The 36 Juanita. I keep pronouncing it wrong.
Juanita. Yeah. So what do we got? We got 5 prizes. So why don't we start at the 5th one first, and we'll work our way up and do the Manhattan as the grand prize.
Absolutely. And what are the NFT bundles that you have? Are these ones that you put together? Are these more cheese than others, or did you? What are these NFTs?
Yeah, I reached out to Little Creation. I'm a mad fan of hers. She does have, it's basically all not safe for work content, but I asked her if it was okay to give some away. I reached out to Bird from the Nasty Hooks. So it'll be a bit of this, that, and the other.
Nice.
So, yeah, and there's definitely some more cheese ones in there as well.
So we may make a mention that if you don't, these are all on the Wax platform?
Yes.
So you're going to need to have yourself a wax.atomichub.io account. If you haven't gotten over there and done that, that is exactly where you want to go. Wax.atomichub.io. Go in, and all you got to do is register for a Wax account. You'll get yourself a .wham, .George Michael. You'll put it in the, if you put it in the actual sign up that you had, hopefully you did that, then that's where these NFTs are going to be going to. So yeah, Banana, are you ready to spin the wheel for the 5th prize?
Yeah. And also, I just double checked. Cinti, everyone that signed up is on the list. Everyone who filled out the form, because I have it directly connected. 75 responses. Do we have 75? Oh, because I did 2 doubles. Hold on. I'm going to do one last double check to make sure we didn't miss anyone.
Double one last. And then when you win, we'll make this clear. Ben, this is the way you want to do it. If they win, are we removing them from the wheel? So if you win one prize, you can't win another, or are you leaving them on the wheel?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough, isn't it?
Okay, so we're removing, if you win a prize, you get removed from the wheel and we'll go on up. So I have not put myself on the wheel. I think Banana asked if he wanted to be, if it was okay that he put himself on there. So, of course, Ben is not on the wheel, but everyone else who wanted to could sign up for it and we'll spin away as soon as Banana gets ready.
Looks like everyone who signed up is on here. The numbers are matching up because it is 74 people. I don't know why it's saying there's another person. I don't know who signed up. I'm not going to double check. I checked the spreadsheet twice. It shows that everyone who signed up is on the board.
If you guys are not watching it, I'll give it to you guys all one last time. Up at the Upland Cafe Voice Channel, you'll see at the top of the list, it is Banana Stimulation. He is live. You see the little red live logo beside his name. All you got to do is click watch stream, and you'll be able to check this out live. For the 5 NFT bundles, the way we'll do it, Ben, if you like, you can say Banana spin that wheel. And as tradition, we say no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. That has Banana stopping the wheel, and then it comes to a stop. Ben, would you like to do the honors?
Sounds good. When you're ready, Banana, spin that banana wheel.
Spin the banana. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
Off it goes. Good luck, everybody. Ben, when you're ready.
It is. Oh boy! It is Jason time.
Jason time. Is that who won it?
This person actually DM'd me. I know who this person is. Yeah.
All right, Jason time. Congratulations. I had to meet you, Jason time, because you had some background noise. But congratulations. When you find that mute button, just direct message me and I'll meet you. But congratulations, Jason time, for that first 5th place win 5 times NFT bundle. Very cool. Ben, what is in the 4th place? The 10
and we're removing names, right? Removing names?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got a 10 FT bundle for the next one.
Awesome. Very cool. These are again on wax.atomichub.io. And Ben, once again, do the honors here, sir.
Way you go. Spin the banana wheel.
All right, spin the wheel. Nanner, 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 nanner,
I like the sound effects.
Ooh, is it? Oh, it's Lemmy.
Lemmy! Wow.
There you go. Well done.
Congratulations, Lemmy. Well, couldn't go to a better person. Lemmy's always giving away NFTs and doing airdrop NFTs. For those of you, if you have .whams in your name, you never know when you're in the cafe, somebody can come by and drop you NFTs because you have your .wham in your name. Like the Recon has their .wham in their name, like Scruff. Scruff's a fellow Australianer. He may partake into the, and before we go on to prize number 3, are you still doing the Wednesday New Zealander and Australianer show that you do here in the cafe with Lily and the others?
Absolutely. It's actually Wednesday here in the future, and we're getting ready to kick off the first one for the year tonight. We did take a little bit of a break for a couple of weeks. So, yep, tonight.
Wow. How many hours will that be until you're actually here live in the cafe?
7-ish, 7 and change.
If you've never set your alarm.
Sorry, 5. 5 and change.
5 and change, which is going to be midnight plus 3 for me, 2 plus 2. It'll be 3 a.m. in the morning. But if you haven't set your alarm clock and gotten in and listened, these groups are all required to have a moderator, which Lily is resident here in the cafe as a moderator and an Australianer. So they have that checked the box, and you can go over there and listen to them for all the incredibly awesome Australian slang that they have rolling there. If you haven't joined it, it is absolutely amazing to do so. Let's get on with the third prize. This is the 36 Juanito Way in San Francisco. Very, very cool property. Awesome.
Spin the wheel, mate.
Alrighty, we're gonna spin that wheel. Nanner, 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 nanner.
What do we got?
Oh my god, he actually won.
D-Tech. Wow. Nice.
D-Tech.
Wow.
That's cool.
Oh, that's great.
And he's actually somebody who's just cleared the vetting procedures, and he's just joined the UDU team. So well done, D-Tech.
That's right. You know, and I had messaged D-Tech before in starting out, and it's so amazing at how the relationships, and I've talked about this before, it's the acquaintances that turn into friendship, friendship to business, businesses into breaking bread. And really, DTech early on, it messaged me here recently and said, thanks for helping me out early on. I was like, good. I'm so glad to do that. And posted in the Upland Cafe, can I donate a cheap Brooklyn prop for sixth place? Laugh out loud. I'm afraid I might finish sixth and not get anything. Well, congratulations, DTech. You did get something. You won an amazing property. That is awesome. Very, very cool.
D-Tech's a complete maniac. Wait till you see his YouTube channel. He's awesome. Cheese and I loving it.
I have not seen it. Drop that link. I would love to see D-Tech's YouTube channel. That's fantastic. Another great addition to the Upland Metaverse. 100,000 UPIX, Ben. 100K UPIX. You're going to eat away at your liquidity for that not ham going in Los Angeles, as you so to speak.
Oh, yeah. It is what it is. It's just funny money.
Funny money. Let's do it. Ben, when you're ready.
Go, mate. Spin it.
Spin that wheel. Straight up.
Straight up. Cool.
Look at that. Another longtime member here in the cafe. If you've never been in the cafe, straight up one of those players early on that almost quit the game. Had the Kansas City burn effect in right when it started, and now has become one of the best contributors, a very often contributor to here at the Upland Cafe. Very, very cool to see that happen. Well, this is, before we do this last prize, I want to thank, and we're going to have some time after this, but Ben, I really, really appreciate you coming on and doing this. You have your hands full. You do a lot. I'm always eager to watch the turkeys that you have, the bush turkeys that you have in the backyard that wake you up, or that you get to interact with. And just being in a different part of the world, my friend, it's been a real pleasure getting to know you and being a part of the UDU. Is there any other information that you want to shout out to the Upland Cafe, or anything that you have to say?
Oh, I just want to say thank you to you. What you've created here is, it's really changed a lot of aspects of the community for the better, I think. So yeah, awesome.
Greatly appreciate that. And let me ask you this. If we ever do have an actual meetup, which they have been alluding to, that would be in June for Genesis Week, would you said it before, you got a trip to take east. Would it ever be sometime that you could actually find your way to the States, if they in fact do have it here in the States as a meetup?
It's all but impossible. I'm a kindergarten teacher, so my holidays are geared towards the most expensive time of the year to travel. And my poor wife hasn't been back to see her family in 7 years. So, and we were just getting ready to go, and then all this COVID crap kicked in. So, yeah, I got a trip to go back to Japan, an extended trip there before I go anywhere. Otherwise, I will be found murdered and buried in the backyard.
Fair enough. Eaten
by bush turkeys.
You're eaten by the bush turkeys. That will be the excuse. You know what we could probably try and do is get one of those robots that actuate around, and they have the iPad for your face, and then we'll just put you in the convention and people can come up and talk to you. Will that work?
Oh God, I think that'd last about 2 seconds before somebody dunked it in the toilet.
Swirly, as it's known. A swirly is what would be given to Ben.
I'm very aware that I'm a highly polarizing character. So let's say that.
So they could probably get some rabbit ears. They could probably draw a mustache on you. We'll see. It could be very interesting. Well, it would be great. Australia is on my list for places to surf. It is on my top 5 list. I was really close when I was in Indonesia, only 3,000 miles away, not that close, but is on my bucket list. So I do hope at some point, friend, that I can head that way, look at the bush turkeys, sit down and break bread with you. It would be great to do so.
Absolutely. Sounds good to me.
All right. Uplanders, those in the cafe, you've done it. You stuck around. This is it. This is the big one. It is first place prize, 842 2nd Avenue in Manhattan, New York. This is an amazing grab. We looked at it. It's an amazing and generous gift. Ben, thank you so much for doing this. You have the honor, sir. Let the nanners know when the spin is to spin.
Banana, I love you, brother. Let's do it. Go for it.
Do this. Spin that wheel. Goldsmith!
Goldsmith.
Really? Wow. Well done.
Wow. Holy cow.
Rigged.
I like
Rigged.
gold. Everybody drop the gold member gifts.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations to you, those of you who win. Please, will they need to? I know that Nanners has all the information. I did get have that in there, so thank you so much. What an amazing episode! What an amazing show that we've had tonight. And I can't tell you how much I do appreciate everybody hopping in here and allowing me to do this during the time in which I do it at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We have guests from time to time, like BEN68, a repeat guest here, and others that are otherwise alumni that come in. And we really it's such a great opportunity to talk to somebody who's had the length of gameplay and is still as active as BEN68 is in this. I want to thank Banana Simulation for doing the wheel tonight. More Cheese for dropping in all the links, and BEN68 to you, sir. Any parting words that you can always stick around for the after show, but anything else that you'd like to say, sir?
No, mate, just everybody keep doing what you're doing. And I dropped this in one of the UDU debate channels we just had. I think the last line was, have fun because it's just a game, and D-head. I won't say it because then Lily will make me have to pay for the swear jar.
That's right. And if you haven't, and again, some of these shows are not safe for work, and they have all the inflection of the robust language that the Australianers have. So it is good to watch if you are into that.
Fair enough.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Uplanders, you've done it. You've set through. It's BEN68, 2 years in the game, anniversary, giving away some amazing prizes. Congratulations to all of you that are winners.